What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing today? Man, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I apologize, everybody, for not going live the other day. I had a family thing I had to go to, and I ended up getting super hammered, and I didn't wake up for a long time. So I apologize on that one. But we have a lot to go over here. A lot of people, I know, like I said, man, a lot of people are upset about the stock, and I just want people to take a look at the bigger picture here in a second and understand what's happening in the market. We're going to be just fine. We actually want a lot of this to happen. One of the things that I said for a Moas and a squeeze to happen, baby, please, is they need to have a blood red market. We need the market to keep bleeding. You need these stocks to keep going down. Why? Because a lot of these are backed up as their collateral. So if they're losing value, for these assets that are backed, buddy, please. Hold on one second here. I gotta get him a bone or something. He won't get off me. I can't get to his Alright, I don't know what his problem is. Sorry about that. Alright, well, either way, sorry about that. So one of the things, like I said, we need to have happen here is we need their collaterals to go down. Their haircuts are going up and up and up, so they're going to need more margin requirements. Please, buddy, just go sit down for 12 seconds. There we go. All right, finally, he's out of here. All right, let's go. All right, so like I said, so we do want the market to bleed. A lot of people also, I want to go over one thing quick too with Adam Aaron, with all this stuff. So somebody talked to Charles Payne today, and a lot of people are like, well, we don't need to go see movies. We don't need to do anything. Who cares? Obviously, we had the best revenue ever, and AMC stock went down. It's like, you guys, we gotta look at more than just one stock and realize this is happening everywhere. People are having great earnings all over, and they're getting shorted. That doesn't mean that going and getting profits is a bad thing or it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Your company, as long as they keep growing, have more cash. Again, that's less we ever need to dilute. That's, like I said, I get that they can dilute it. Like I said, a lot of people sit there and they just look at an AMC. And here's the thing, like I said, with Adam Aaron, he couldn't win or he couldn't lose before. So right now, it looks like Q4 numbers are down. We're at like 900 million. We need to go see movies, guys. Like I said, go see movies, go see movies. We need to finish, I think, about 2.2 billion to be profitable. We're going to have about $1 billion quarter at this rate for December, or not quarter, $1 billion month in December here at the rate we're going to be profitable. So like I said, guys, go see movies. It's very vital to keep being profitable at this point. Like I said, next year around Q2, Q3, Q4, all those movies are back. All those ones got pushed forward. Dune 2 now will actually be moved up 2 weeks into Q1, so we'll get 3 full weeks of that in Q1. So that will actually be really massive for Q1 numbers. But like I said, guys, I know it's a long battle. Like he said, Wall Street hedge funds are pro shorts. They're known for going out of their shield. They'll use everything they can. Obviously, we know all of this. We know that they control the media. They control everything. Like I said, guys, it's always darkest before the dawn. They're going to, like I said, we want this entire market to bleed. These banks to keep bleeding. You want their backings to get fucked up. You want their collateral to be worth less and less and less. And eventually they need to deposit more and more and more. But guess what? They don't have more and more and more and more. As you guys are seeing, you're seeing more and more, which we'll get into in a minute. You're seeing more and more of these funds are closing down rapidly. Another one closed down today. Yesterday, other than the Chanos one or whatever his name was. We'll get to him in a second, baby, please. I don't know why he's so needy right now. It's just crazy. He was just laying down. Sorry, he's distracting me. But like I said, guys, this entire market is bleeding. So don't just look right now at AMC. And that's why I'm saying everyone sits there and, oh, Adam Aaron's just fucking us. So no other company in the entire market needed to raise money. No other, like I said, you guys got to realize this is happening everywhere. Tons of capital is leaving the market. Tons of capital is leaving the banks. They're going into these money market funds, and they're going straight into the hands of, God, we're going to get into some corruption here in a minute. But like I said here, guys, just relax. Stick to the game plan, whether you like Adam Aaron or not. One of my buddies said something that I was like, that makes sense. A lot of these pro teams, they don't like their coach, but they believe in their teammate. They all wear the same jersey. Like I said, you don't have to like your coach to play for the team. You need to believe in your teammates. And if your teammates, the rest of the apes, can pull through it, we're strong enough to get through the bullshit, get through the game, win. Like I said, guys, everyone's got to calm down. I just want to realize, everyone to realize, like I said too, with this, everybody, let's say Adam Aaron didn't dilute now. We waited, the stock dropped. You know exactly what they'd be saying? Well, now it's going to get to a level. Like, these are the same guys that yesterday said, we're going to go straight to 550 on a dead drop. No resistance. Good one. Like I said, TA on this stock alone is ridiculous to try to do. But if he would have waited, now everybody would have been freaking out, screaming that we wouldn't have been able to dilute now. He's waiting too low. We're going to do it again at $3, $4. And what was the point? And like I said, it's a no-win, no-lose situation. Maybe he saw the entire market was going to bleed and goes, I need to make this capital up quick because we might have a bad Q4 and we might have a bad Q1 and we need to raise this capital now while we can. But let me go into a lot of other stuff here because I want to show people some stuff here. But I just want you guys to listen to one thing here quick for Dana White. It was pretty funny. I mean, it's dead on.
Never.
Oh, shit. Hold on. It went to my stupid ass. Hold on. Let's switch to my... Sorry, hold on a second. It switched to... I just plugged my PS4 mouse in. 1 second. Controller. All right, here we go.
The media are the dumbest, know nothing, do nothing, never fucking built nothing motherfuckers on planet Earth. So when they say it isn't going to work, you got a fucking home run, man. You know what I mean? Just jump in and grind. The media, these guys, think about who these people are. When you really think about the media, who are they? Where did they come from? Why does their opinion matter? What have they ever done? What have they ever created? What have they ever built? Who's ever depended on a paycheck from the media? Nobody. They are a bunch of fucking zeros that sit around and write stories about people who are actually doing shit.
Like I said, it's dead on though. But I want to get into some really fucked up shit here because you guys continuously are seeing this pattern and what the fuck is going on? Like, this shit's like becoming a movie. So the mafia didn't go away. They just got a bigger house and a clipboard. Basically, I mean, if you don't believe me, look at this guy right here. Does this guy not look like he's fucking killed people? Is this dude not a straight up fucking hitman from the mafia? But let's go into something here real quick because this is just getting more disturbing and disturbing, and it comes out every fucking day. It seems like a new person that works in politicians is a pedophile. Well, feds say they uncovered a prostitution ring serving politicians, military officers, and tech executives. Yay, so we found another fucking thing. These guys were being basically blackmailed in a prostitution ring. They have pictures of these guys. Yay, politicians. So, again, more corruption going on over here. These guys obviously live a life that none of us seem to be able to live. These guys go and do whatever they want, get bribed however they want, but it gets more fucked up because, again, it's more of this shit. So the former mayor, Maryland mayor, is accused and has been sentenced to 30 years in prison for exploitation of 500 plus children. Then the next story, a Pentagon official has office overseeing elementary schools has been arrested in a human trafficking sting. So this motherfucker is doing more. It's just constant human trafficking. Dude, what the fuck is going on? Stacey Abrams' brother-in-law has been arrested on human trafficking allegations. Once again, more and more of these politicians and these... Like I said, what is fucking happening, dude? Like, this is shit that should be eradicated. Like, you sit there and you hear all of these things about all of these people and, oh man, everybody's blackmailed that's in politics and they got this on them and this and you have to have this on them. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why is it always these pedos fucking gross shit, dude? Hold on, I'm trying to show you. This is the one. This guy. And then guess who he's married to? I just want you guys to know who he's married to. He's married to a federal judge. So a federal judge, brother-in-law, a federal judge, husband is doing sexual fucking human trafficking. What is going on, dude? So, all of our politicians right now are beyond corrupt as fuck, and this is what I'm saying. It is so ridiculous, because, like I said, the mafia didn't leave. They just got a clipboard. they're the biggest human traffickers. They're the ones that are using all this stuff. They're the ones that are we already know what JP Morgan does. They bring 20 tons of cocaine. You want to let's do a war on drugs. No. Okay, start with all the bankers. Just watch all their boats. How do they get into the country by the tons? Because your banks and all of their boats and all their things that you just bribe away, bring it on in. Obviously, it's not hard to figure out. You want to do a war on drugs, you can end 90% of it by just stopping their boats. 20 tons of cocaine? How? 20 tons of cocaine? Like, how much does that... I don't even know how much that is. Like, I don't know how much... Like, how many lines is that for people? Like, how many people could take on 20 tons? How many states does that funnel up? You know what I mean? Like, holy fuck. All of these guys... JP Morgan pays $75 million to settle their Jeffrey Epstein fucking sexual trafficking, taking over $1 billion in human trafficking payment, and then they pay another $300 million. So they basically paid $365 million to make it go away. This is the most egregious human act you could do, and no one seems to give a fuck. These guys, I mean, this dude's just like, well, we'll see what happens. These guys, maybe they'll get... I mean, this dude got 30 years. Thank God. But that's because it's children. They should all be fucking life. 30 years? That's still not enough time. 500 children? 30 years is still not enough time. What is going on, dude? Like, all of this... Why is it everyone high up ranking officials are doing the human trafficking? I'm sorry. This shit just pisses me off. Like, I don't understand why this is not, like, the most addressed shit. We already went over all those other... God, how many other times have I came on here and shown you human trafficking things? Here's more politicians doing this. Pedophile shit. What is going on, dude? Like I said, this shit's like straight out of a fucking movie at this point. This is so fucked up. Tether freezes $225 million linked to human trafficking group. Like, what in the fuck is going on, dude? But here's the thing. I want to show you guys some stuff here because everything's, you know, the feds, everything is backed right now by the feds. And they're printing, they're bailing everyone out. And it's like, this is why margin calls haven't happened so much. This is why they're letting everything should be crashing harder than fuck. Everyone's over leveraged. Everyone is over leveraged. Why do you think there hasn't been margin called? Why do you think the feds constantly have a new bailout program? Why do you think that we're seeing, I'm going to show you just how bad it's getting. Why do you think we're constantly seeing these people letting this go, letting this go? Oh, don't worry about that. I'm going to show you. These guys are deleting shit. They're deleting treasury bonds. This is the first time in history. I don't know what this even means. Like, we're literally, who is the counterparty? We just deleted a bond on somebody. Not issued, not paid back. Before we canceled it, before everything happened, we just deleted it. Straight deleted it. We'll get into it in a second. But the feds are not, they're in a really fucking rough place. The only reason they're not insolvent is because they own the fucking money printer themselves. But the problem is they're so fucked up. Like I was showing you guys before. They bought all of those houses to bail out all those banks. A lot of people don't understand that. The feds went back there about a year and a half ago and they started buying up all these fucking houses. It was the feds. They bought the shit out of them. Their mortgage-backed securities skyrocketed. It's at like 2.3 trillion worth of mortgage-backed securities because they had to bail out all of these failing homes. Everybody's like, why the fuck wasn't there a housing crash? There should have been a housing crash, but then the feds went in and bought everything up. And then now the problem is, and that's why we're fucked. That's why the housing market is completely stopped. It's at a stalemate. The feds have so much, they can't take these massive losses, but they have no choice. They bought everything at the top. So now the supply's not going anywhere. None of us can go ahead and refinance, and none of us are going to move. Nobody's going to go from a 2 to an 8% fucking loan. So basically, the feds right now are just stuck, dude. They have all of these loans, these bad, toxic fucking loans they can't get rid of. Well, feds' unrealized losses. Look at their balance sheet. Here's they are 2019, 20, 2020. They're positive. Look at it now. They're at an all-time low. They're at negative 1.3 trillion. They can't sit there and keep printing the shit off when they're taking they're in such, like I said, they're in such insolvency that the reserve should be itself. It's not even fucking funny, dude. Everything they have is toxic. Why can't they do QE? Because they can't sell any of their securities. They can't sell any of their assets because they're all fucking toxic. No one's buying their shitty ass houses. And if they do, they're going to have to take a loss. So they're sitting there waiting on them. They have no choice but to wait on them. But it's going to get worse. It's not like it's about to get better. The wages aren't going up. They're not getting inflation under control. And at this point, they're never gonna. You cannot print $16 trillion in a matter of a year and a half. When you had $4 trillion in existence before that, you can't 4 times the money supply basically and go and not put any of it into your country into making it better and worse, but just to funneling it to criminals and then funneling it to other countries. And I don't even know where the fuck it even went. Here's the thing. When we do their audits, which we'll get into in a minute, they're always trillions behind. So where the fuck is all this going? What is happening? How are you guys printing trillions, but it's never going anywhere that we need it to go? How is the Pentagon trillions behind? Like I said, these guys are the people that were backing all of this criminality. And this is what I kept telling you. This is what we needed to have happen. We need to muscle through the storm. AMC needs to, yes, they needed to raise capital. And yes, I wish, and I thought they could do it at better paces. And of course, you know what? I always underestimate or just be a little hopeful because you know what? I mean, when you look at data and facts and what things are supposed to do, it says one story, and obviously the story always comes out differently because you just never know how much they can walk over with an eraser and change what they want. Because it seems like some laws are supposed to stop this, but it never does. Nothing ever fucking seems to change. But the one thing that can change, the one thing that can stop all this criminality is their backers. The banks and the feds and cutting the head off the snake. And this is what I've been saying forever. And when we start cutting the head off the snake, it's going to get bloody as fuck. The market's going to burn and we're going to be, well, we're going to be hurting. But this is the thing, people. It can go to $5, $6, $7 and jump. It doesn't need to go to $10, $12 to get to 200, 300 to squeeze and do whatever we need it to do. It can do it at any point. And it's going to drop down as much as it can before it skyrockets up. So there's no set point and everybody that panics over every little move. If AMC continuously gets profitable, pays down their debt, can manage their debt, doesn't need to dilute, and this is why I always say fundamentals matter more than anything for us right now. They matter more than anything. If we can get positive enough to stop diluting, to start paying down debt, to manage it to where we can buy more theaters, get to this, to get more profitable each quarter, do these new revenue streams, that is fucking huge. That is what we need to be focusing on. That is our goal as a team. Like I said, whether you like our coach, I don't give a fuck. You know what the goal is. The goal to get across the finish line is to pay down this fucking debt. Make AMC where they don't need to dilute anymore. Let them keep getting new revenue streams. Let them keep getting new sponsorship, partnerships. Let them keep getting new revenue. Like I said, let them pay down debt at a discounted price. If you guys look at it, most of our debt's due in 2026. So if we can smash down this 2024 debt, we're sitting pretty fucking good. To where, like I said, if the box office comes back, more and more movies are supposed to be hitting 2025. It showed a lot of people those new movies that are set to come in 2025. 2025 should be an amazing, amazing year for the box office. There's a lot of great movies coming out then. But we also went over how even these studios were trying to fuck us. They made movies and they withheld the content. They literally didn't release them to theaters. They're just like, fuck it. I'm going to take a tax break on the movie. Even though this movie would have been $100 million, $200, $300 million plus movie. Nope. They didn't negotiate the way I wanted. So I'll just shelf it like they did with Coyote and the Roadrunner movie. Like I said, there's all these things fucking going against us. But the one thing they can't stop is us making our company profitable. Just like I said, I don't care if you like the coach. Us paying down our debt is our goal. Us not needing to dilute is our goal. And we do that through profits. That's how businesses work, my friends. But on top of that, if you look right now, the problem is currently we're at 40% of all personal income tax is going into our interest right now. Next year, I showed you 8.6 trillion. 8.6 trillion is set to renew in debt, which means it will go up to 2 trillion. which means that the United States next year, and this is why they can't keep it up forever, the fucking government is so fucked right now, and I'm going to show you what they're going to do to make them even more fucked. The government is in a really bad spot right now because everything is becoming more and more toxic. The Ponzi scheme is coming out more and more open. People in other countries are running from our financial system. Why? They see trillions of dollars missing. Not just trillions, guys. Not just billions, not a couple hundred. They see trillions missing. Like 6, 7, 8 trillion missing. Trillions unaccounted for at the Pentagon. Trillions unaccounted for our defenses. Everywhere. There's trillions. Where to go? I don't know. Well, eventually we're going to need to find that money or pay it back, right? Well, technically we could actually just keep taking more. Well, no, eventually you're going to have to fucking pay somebody back. Which is why all the ratings are going. Why when the Phase 6 came out, instead of holding us accountable, you just saw everybody sell. Everybody sold all the treasury bonds. Everybody jumped out. You had countries literally telling their people to get out. I showed you firms were pulling out of the United States, out of other countries at the biggest rate ever. So people say, what did Phase 6 do? It made every other country realize what's going on behind the curtains. And they all ran and they all pulled out of our country massively by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars and by hundreds of companies they told you just to get the fuck out of there. Eventually this shit's going to come, and their plan is the dumbest thing I've ever fucking seen. But back to this. So next year when this goes to 2 trillion, because their plan, I'm going to show you their plan. Their plan's going to make this worse. It's going to go to 2 trillion. It was supposed to go to 2 trillion, but what they're going to do is going to make it even worse to where it's going to go up even faster, like the next year after that. When we have even more, we have a couple more trillion renew, it's going to jump up to like 8%. Like I said, we'll get into it in a second here. But next year, it's going to be about 68 to 70% of fucking income tax going to just interest. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's not manageable. And that's not counting if we keep spending. Well, you know we're fucking still spending. Look, of course we're still spending. We just sold another 180 billion of T-bills. Of course, they're going to keep spending at such a rate it is unfucking heard of. Because we don't have a debt limit ceiling. They don't give a fuck. They're going to keep spending. Well, like I was saying with this, the Pentagon fails to account for over $3 trillion for the 6th year in a row. Well, what the fuck? We're literally going to have trillions missing, and people are not going to bat an eye. They're not going to worry about it. They're just going to say, well, who the hell's the counterparty? Who is on the other end of this trillions of dollars? Take it all. Obviously, so we have $3 trillion. Good grief, dude. Like I said, this shit is unfucking believable. And eventually, when you have 10, 12, $13 trillion, and there's only fucking 20 trillion in existence, and 11 trillion is unaccounted for, eventually there are going to be problems in such a catastrophic form, you can't even imagine what's going to happen. So now what they're doing with these treasury bonds and these bills, and this is the thing. This is how fucked they are. They're so fucked. When I started seeing this, because they always test it out on a really shitty small country or somebody that they're like, hey, you do this quick and then let us get in there, let us see the corruption end quick, and then bam, once they exploit it, it's coming. And this is coming to the United States. I promise you, in the next 6 months, you will see this in the United States because we won't give them CBDCs. So they'll do this instead. But what they're doing now, hold on, before I even get to that, that's even more fucking insane. Because since we won't give them CBDCs, which is what they want, listen.
Do a central bank digital currency.
Are you there?
Oh, for a central bank digital currency? Yeah. Yes. I think it's time for us to move in that
essentially, because the thing is, when you look at every piece of paper currency we issue, not with coins, but every paper currency has its own identity. Mm-hmm. So essentially, we're prepared for the blockchain now with currency. Should that be how we build this?
This is what they want to do. So since they can't fucking do it digitally because they can't hide the corruption anymore, And the only way they're going to be able to hide the corruption is to get it digital. To get it more in the back end, to get it, and this is all good, and this is all good. And then we already know what they're going to do. They're going to have backup databases and fucking this and that and all this bullshit. Philippines sells 270 million of tokenized security treasury bonds. The Philippines sold tokenized treasury bonds for the first time. So this is what will be coming into the United States. They will be doing tokenized fucking treasury bonds. So it's like a debt obligation of an obligation. Okay. So since the treasury market and since your debt is getting so fucking out of control, you're going to need to start doing this. Why do you do it in the Philippines? Because they're all fucked up anyways. They need money. So what are they doing? They just allowed short selling. They need to now get more corruption. So they're now doing this. If you're dying off, what is the biggest way for you as a country? What's the biggest way for you as a country to start getting money there? Allow criminality to go on. Start allowing money to start flowing through there. You don't care how it's made. Just like I showed you with Apple. You remember I showed you Apple went to Portugal and they went up to them and said, or not Portugal, it was what was it? I can't remember. It was something like that. It was Mexico, someplace in Mexico. And they went up to them and they were like, hey, let us funnel shit here and we'll give you $1 billion. And they saved in return $30 billion. And they got away from doing fraudulent tax evasion on the United States. And they just went up to that country and made a deal. That's exactly what's going on here. They're all going fucking to Philippines quick. Criminality shit going on. Do this, bring in some money. And like I said, this is how they're going to test it out. This will come to the United States in the next 6 months. Now, back to this. I have never in my entire life, I'll show you that in a second here. I've never in my entire fucking life seen this. Ever. It's like, it is literally unheard of. So is this their plan? Like, what are you going to do? You can't just sit here and delete fucking trillions of dollars worth. They literally deleted a fucking bond payment that was due. It was set. It was going to be redo, and they just fucking deleted it. Nah, before we have to cancel it, before anything goes wrong, we're just going to delete it. Delete it. Like, just straight deleted. Like, what the fuck? This is unheard of. Deleted. They just straight fucking deleted it. They're like, nah, it's good. This is crazy. So like I said, what are we going to start doing? Are we just going to keep on all of our fucking bonds, just deleting them instead? Not just delete it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Like I said, I don't even know what the government's going to be able to fucking do at this point. They need to get digital to start hiding this shit, to be able to fucking do all this garbage shit in the back end. That's why you have now JP Morgan doing over $1 billion in their tokenized fucking bullshit. They're just CBDCs. They're wholesale CBDCs relabeled as tokens. That's all it is. It is a complete fucking gong show. And now the United States, look what they're trying to do. So this is what they're going to do to make this be even fucking worse. So they want to now they're going to issue more bonds to start buying back old debt. Well, if you do that, you're Japan. And I told you, eventually we're just going to become Japan. Well, this is what they're going to start doing. They're going to start issuing debt to buy back old debt. So now and then they're going to pay themselves the interest. It is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And all this does is make it go up even. Like I said, this does not work. Ask Japan. We're literally well, we can just spend unlimitedly. Nothing will ever happen. Well, when these guys are unable to back the banks, what's going to happen? Well, the banks are going to get fucked. Now, if you look over at the Fed Bank Lending Program facility, guess what? Look at that. At an all-time high. Look at this fucking thing. It's just spiking. Here, you can't see it over there. Hold on. It's just spiking. We're at an all-time high now. Everyone's fucking broke. They're all just borrowing from credit cards at this point. It is such a fucking gong show. And eventually, what are the feds gonna do? They can't just sit there. Like, we are way beyond the 2008 limit at this point. Like, these guys have been bailed out in the back end. Because they know if they have a bank run at this point, everything's fucked. The government, they have so many pressures going on them right now. Like I said, they're not going to be able to sit there and keep backing these banks up. And what happens when the government can't back them up? What happens when people keep leaving these banks in this deposit? JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America hit with negative ratings. As Moody says, the government has weaker capacity to support big banks. Exactly. When they can't sit here and keep bailing out the big banks, guess who does the margin calls? Guess who does the margin calls? And this is what I've told you guys you've needed forever. This is what you need for your MOAS. You need these banks to not be able to get bailed out in the back end. Well, the government's ability to do that is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And they don't have, and by doing that, like I showed you, the government themselves is making less money. Well, now they're looking over going, fuck, we're having less and less corporations built. People have less and less money. We're making less and less taxes. We can't introduce another tax. The government's sitting there fucking, what are we going to do? Well, like I told you, eventually the government's got to go, we have to stimulate the economy some way. We can't keep picking you. Eventually, we got to pick the economy. And by picking the economy, it'll still funnel back to you in the long run, so who cares? Well, the only way to do that now is going to be through a fucking MOAS. That's the only way you're going to allow that you're allow all of this economy to get fucking funneled back, because they're not going to issue more money. They're not going to print more money off and give us a stimulus. That's not coming. You're not getting a stimulus check. So the only way at this point is you're going to need to let, and like people, you had all these guys with TA, I could see a little kind of squeeze coming for them to shake people out. No, they're going to have a squeeze come. It's not because it's to shake people out. They're going to have no fucking choice because these banks are taking such massive fucking hits. The world's waking up. They are losing so much in deposits, you guys. It's not even funny. Now, let me ask you a question. When they went down to 0% reserves when COVID happened, and all of these banks said, I don't have to have a single fucking penny in my reserve, what do you think they did? They spent every single penny of their customer deposits. So when people are pulling out like they're doing at this rate, big banks see $63 billion again in one more, just last week alone. So since I've showed you, they have lost almost $500 billion in the last 3 months. That's insanity. They projected over 1.5 trillion more to leave the banking system next year. The banks are going to be fucked. The people that are letting them, their lenders are going to go under. Their lenders are going to have problems to where they're going to need to start margin calling people. Even these big banks, people are figuring out the corruption in the big banks. And not only that, look what is happening at the big banks. First of all, Citigroup, they just announced layoff for 300 senior managers. Well, if you're starting to cut off the big wigs up top, you're having big problems. They're doing a complete restructure of their bank. They're getting fucking owned. Bank lending has fallen off a cliff. Sorry, I got allergies, so if I sound all stuffy, I apologize. Bank lending has fallen off a cliff. I've already shown you guys. It's going to get worse and worse and harder and harder and harder for these guys to lend out banks. They lose money for giving out home loans. So they're not going to sit there and lend out basically anything unless they can get that 20% down payment. They're not going to take the risk. Lending's going to keep going down, and credit's going to keep getting harder and harder and harder to come by. Like I said, nothing's getting better for the government. They are going to have no choice. Eventually, they're going to have to say, okay, here's some breadcrumbs, people. You cannot, or eventually, like I said, everybody's fucking waking up. The corruption is so fucking nuts. And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, and then you guys see the J6 videos. How the fuck can anybody believe anything? Well, we'll get to that in a second. But here's another thing I want you guys to see. Look at how fucked, FTD data was gone forever. It was gone forever. And all of a sudden it comes back, and what do you know? JP Morgan in one stock. Symbol JGLO. JP Morgan themselves has 18 million fucking failure to delivers, right? The float is 18 million. They have more FTDs. JP Morgan has more FTDs than this stock has float. How the hell can JP Morgan have more FTDs than the float? Now, anybody listening, I'm not saying I took a small position, but, you know, if I got floats going, man, I'm going to take a risk here. But, I mean, not financial advice, but, I mean, what the hell? That's insanity. Like I said, the corruption, the fraud, it's getting to the point of they're maxing it out on every single fucking level. And they can't hide it. Like I said, they have to sit there and delay FTD data, all this shit. You know this shit's even manipulated data. That's what's fucking scary. What's the real numbers? Like I said, guys, this shit, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse for these guys. And what we need is the people that are allowing them to not be margined to margin them. And the only way you do that is you put pressure on their throats. You step on the big guys' throats. Stop worrying about the little guys. Because guess what? Ken Griffin has 65 billion securities not sold, not yet purchased. And on top of that, he's off credits and credits and credits from, guess who? All these banks and everyone else. So fuck them up, and even he's hurting. Get rid of payment for order flow like he's trying to do. Now he's hurting even more. That's why I feel like Ken's trying to go out and he's buying the dolphins and he's trying to do all this other shit because he's trying to branch out more, because if his massive hedge fund gets fucked up or his market maker gets fucked up in any way with payment for order flow, which will drastically affect him, he's got to make his money somewhere else. But like I said, fuck him. We're going to get that piece of shit criminal. But I want to show you something. I'm just going to jump straight to it because I found this. I saw this online and then I looked it up and I'm like, yeah, this should be something where it's like, what the hell? This should be fucking illegal. So the U.S. prosecutor who targeted spoofing, he left the Doge. So the guy that worked on the criminal investigation for the Doge, well, he ends up leaving the Doge, right? Well, he ends up going and he works for a law firm. He ends up and he goes and he gets hired by a law firm. This Quinn Emanuel and Sullivan LLP, okay? Well, Ken Griffin currently is in a lawsuit for spoofing. Guess which fucking law firm he hired? This one. The one that the fucking Doge investigator worked at. So the guy leaves the Doge investigation. Now he works at a law firm. And then Ken Griffin hires him, or hires that law firm for his new spoofing case. What? How the hell is that legal? This is fucking insanity. This should not be happening. So somebody needs to look into this, because he should not be able to hire the law firm this fucker works at, A.V. Perry. He should not be able to fucking hire the firm that A.V. Perry works at if he was your Doge investigator, because he's going to know all the loopholes and all the bullshit and everything. And how can we perfectly defend against this? He's going to know it all. This is fucking bullshit. Ken Griffin is a fucking mafia boss is what he is. And he's allowed to hire people that he shouldn't be allowed to hire to get away with loopholes that only they fucking know because they wrote them. But just wanted everyone to be aware about this fucking bullshit here. But back to this. So, like I said, these banks, the government, everything, like I said, the reverse repos are getting worse and worse and worse because they have less and less and less and less money to park overnight at the reverse repos, which means that the government is making less and less and less at what? Overnight index swaps. So guess what? The government needs to eventually at one point go, okay, the only way we can, like I said, they need to stimulate the economy. I said this before, eventually they're going to have no choice but to either allow a MOAS of some kind, because eventually all that capital gains tax might be your way to get out of some kind of situation, re-stimulate the economy, not have people try and fucking overthrow the world in rage and revolt. It's like your only way out eventually. But they got to keep funneling as much as they can. They got to keep doing as much bullshit as possible, holding them up a market that everybody in the world looks at the market and goes, how is this possible? It shouldn't be. How are they propping it up? Why can't they let it go? Because not this time, instead of margining just a few, every single fucking one of them needs to get margined this time. All of them. And none of them have it. None of them. So it's going to be a lot of liquidations. A lot of liquidations going on. He said,
What are you going to do? Keep coming up with more programs so the Fed, who's already broke as fuck, gets even broker? Well, eventually that's going to be a massive, massive issue, isn't it? So, like I said, you can't keep hiding this shit. Eventually, the head of the snake is going to get cut off. But I just wanted people to be aware. They have FTDs on stocks that are higher than the total floats. Now, let's get to something else here real quick. Here, give me 1 second. Sit there and sound like a clown all day there. Sorry about that. All right, so now I wanted to get into one thing with this Binance stuff because it's obvious what's going on. I mean, it's right in front of everybody's eyes. The second that they get control of the crypto market, boom, here it is. So, first thing you got to do, sorry, 1 second here. Those allergies are killing me right now. I'm sneezing. I didn't want to sneeze on the mic. Sorry about that. All right, so now that they have their crypto exchange with all the big guys, BlackRock and everything going on, now what you do is you start to strike all the fucking crypto guys because you want to stop crypto out of there. So what do? You smash FTX, and I told you Binance was next a long fucking time ago. You smash Binance next. I mean, it's going straight according to plan. And then what did I say is going to happen? They will go right after that spot Bitcoin ETF for BlackRock. That will suddenly magically get fucking out there. Everybody will be all about it, and they'll have complete control of the price of fucking Bitcoin. They'll be able to have control of it, and next thing you notice, they will love crypto. And that's how they'll do their fucking criminal acts, their payments, and all their bullshit, because they'll own the exchange that it's all running on. Yay. Now, Crypto Binance, I'm sure y'all heard, CZ, he's going to step down. They're criminally charging him, anti-money laundering, all sorts of stuff. Well, the U.S. government says, I mean, I just thought this was pretty funny because I want to show you what some of the things that they're talking about. So, U.S. Treasury Secretary says, if cryptocurrency exchanges want to operate in the United States, they must play by the rules. If they do not, the U.S. government will take action. Why don't you do that with your own banks, you piece of shit? None of them play by the rules. And you know how I know that? Because they have over 7,400 violations. Oh. So, if your own banks have committed 7,400 crimes, why don't you go after them? Now, what she's really saying here is, if you don't bribe the right people, if you get too big, we'll come after you. That's what she's really saying. Now, here he goes. Is washing drug money too hard these days? I want you guys to listen to this one. Because it's like, is he talking about JP Morgan, who has been caught money laundering, 50 fucking times? And only laundering for huge criminals and cartel? You mean the people laundering money for cartel? Hold on, listen to this fucking clown.
In a February 2019 chat, one compliance employee wrote that they needed a banner that said, quote, "Is washing drug money too hard these days? Come to Binance. We got cake for you."
I think he meant come to JP Morgan, ask the cartel. We launder money for them every fucking day. Not only, I mean, every money laundering scheme JP Morgan's been a part of. Just saying, you know, like, they got plenty of cake. They got cake, fucking donuts. They got the whole bakery. You want some cupcakes? They got that shit on the top shelf. JP Morgan's got it all. You like those little, they got churros, whatever you want, dude. JP Morgan, they'll hook you up, dude. As long as you got the good money, they got you. But now, right after all this comes out, literally, I'm posting this shit and I go, they're going to talk about the spot Bitcoin ETF. And not even 10 minutes later, dude. Not even 10 minutes later, BlackRock meets with the SEC and they reveal more details about its spot Bitcoin ETF. Like, dude, it's like you take the red pill, and once you take the red pill, you see the script right in front of your face. It's not hard. Like, everything I show you guys, it's like, most of it I'm predicting, but just like, it's common sense when you see what's happening behind the scenes. Like, you just look behind the scenes every day. Wake up and look behind the scenes. You see what's really going on. It's so fucking obvious. It's insane. But They control the media, and they control all the shit that people, like I said. It's not hard to see how they can control people, but eventually people keep waking up, because every day when I go on Twitter now, what do I see more and more of? I can't afford shit. The American dream is dead. I'll never be able to afford a fucking house. Eventually, more and more are going to keep saying, why? And then they're going to keep going, what the fuck's over here? And then they're going to start looking at all these other things. These conspiracy theories are going to be like, oh, a little bit more and more and more. I mean, I'm not even political. Before I even get into this, like I said, I'm not even political. Whatever you feel about this day, I'm just showing you because it's just proof. All these fuckers do is lie and make shit up in the media. Do you guys remember? We're going to get into this J6 for just a second here. Like I said, I don't care how you feel about politics. Throw it out the window for this fucking minute. These politicians had this footage. These politicians were crying. They were talking about how deadly this was. They compared it to 9/11, you guys. They compared this shit to one of the most craziest things they've ever seen. Deadly, terroristic things. Cried on... Listen to this.
I think it's important to tell you right now, though. You guys may, individually feel a little broken. You guys all talk about the effects you have to deal with, and, you talk about the impact of that day. But you guys won.
Say something, I'm giving
You guys held. Democracies are not defined by our bad days.
I'll be the one if you want.
We're defined by how we come back from bad days.
What a fucking little baby. And then he goes on, oh my god, you should have seen the chaos. I was hiding under my... Whatever, dude. They're sitting here walking down the halls. You have police officers escorting. No one's doing anything fucking crazy. Here, let's watch the scariness. Watch these police officers. They're shaking people's hands. They're pointing them where to go. God, the deadliness, the scariness. These guys need to be in prison for fucking 30 years. The committee has this stuff. The committee's sitting there. Oh my God, you should have seen the fucking chaos. Oh, the fucking chaos. Then you got a cop. Yeah, this doesn't look staged. Here, I have 3 cameramen already ready. 3 cameramen. Take a picture of me. Look at. I'm scared. Oh, now I got my pictures. Our Kodak moment. All right, let's go. Next one. Let's go to the next one. Okay. But it's like I said, guys, eventually people are going to start to wake up and say, what the fuck is going on here? All of this shit, dude. Oh, you guys are all fucking criminals. You all don't know what you're doing, and you're all children, and we have to watch you. But we're the fucking mafia. Like I said, look at this guy. Tell me right now, in your heart, you truly believe this guy is not a mafia guy and he's never killed anyone. Tell me this guy with the twitched eye, the baldness, the guy who's standing, grinning like he's ready to shoot the cameraman. Like I said, all we did was give the mafia a better suit and a clipboard. But in this case, we gave him a folder because he probably is going to use the clipboard in bad ways. So they're like, dude, you got to have paper, bro. Like I said, man, this shit's fucking insanity. Who is the biggest criminals to the United States? Our politicians, our bankers. They're literally stealing trillions. When the Pentagon for 6 years in a row can't find $3 trillion, what are we doing? What are we doing? $3 trillion. That's $3 trillion we printed. $3 trillion worth of taxpayers' money we gave them. That $3 trillion alone that's unaccounted for changed the lives of every American more than you guys realize. It's insane. And that's just one little thing. I said, the problem with these guys now, and this is what I said was going to happen after certain things started going on. You got these guys eating each other in the background. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to I'll get there in a second. Hold on. But this is going to be their other problem. A lot of these guys, they protected themselves on one side. They didn't protect themselves on the other side. So you know what that means? They're all vulnerable. And for the first time, you're going to start seeing these guys eating each other. Now, I don't remember if you guys remember when FTX came out. I showed you that guy. His name ended up being Ryan Salami or whatever this fucking name is right here. He ended up, he was hired by FTX. And when they hired him, he had one job. All this guy did, literally, they had the receipts and everything. This guy's only job every day was to come into the office. Sam would tell him which guy. He was like, this guy's giving me some pressure. Okay. So then he would go over, he would fly over wherever that guy would be. They would go out on a dinner, whatever the politician is, and he would literally negotiate how much money to donate to his campaign fund. That's it. That's all the guy did. And he would sit there for days, week. It didn't fucking matter. That was it. Go work on this guy. And once he negotiated a fucking price to donate to the guy, suddenly things were passed, and this guy came back, and then he went to the next one. That's all he did. He flew around the United States talking from politician to politician, just saying, how much do I need to donate? Well, if you notice, the problem with him, which was FTX's main problem, is it was basically all Democrats. This guy flew around and just basically was bribing Democrats up the ass. Well, why? Because they control everything at this point. So he's going to go bribe all the fucking Democrats. Well, eventually, the Republicans are going to get wind. They're not getting the stiff of it. And then they get crabby, and then they got to let the secrets out. And then they go after each other. So, pretty much, when they're talking about Binance here and all these little coins, they're basically saying, don't just bribe one of us, bribe us all and play by the rules. Don't get too big. We'll allow you to be this or this. But if you're going to start getting up to Sam and these guys' levels, if you're going to get too big, we're going to have to smash you now. Unless you bribe us all the way. And, I mean, not just one side. You got to get them all. And that's going to be the problem, is how are you going to get somebody that can pay all of these fuckers off? You know how much this bitch gets paid off in speaking fees? 16 times her government salary. So she'll never in her entire life work for you. Well, here's the thing. How the hell could you ever have politicians work for you when they make 60 fucking times their salary working for you, not working for you? Do you understand that? Why would a politician ever go, I'm going to just take my salary and, I mean, I could insider trade and do all these things that my buddies are doing and making hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm not gonna. They're gonna. They're all gonna. They're gonna all take speaking fees, bribes, whatever they need to. They don't give a fuck. And that's the problem. Dark money needs to be abolished, man. It has to. And this is the thing that's crazy. And I told you this is what's going to end up happening. And if this doesn't scare you, it absolutely fucking should. When you guys saw... Where the hell is it? We'll get into this in a second. This is them eating each other alive. But this should scare you. Do you guys remember when this motherfucker came over here a couple days ago? Let's just fucking mute that. Oh, sorry about that. So, a couple days ago, these guys have a dinner with I'm sorry, I didn't even know the last thing you said. I looked down and I saw my shit was still muted. So, a couple days ago, you guys, this should scare you if it doesn't. A couple days ago, these guys had a dinner with the guy over at China. And here's the thing. Usually when you go for money, I mean, look at Ukraine and look at all these things. Usually when you go for money, what happens? Yeah, my mic got unplugged. I'm sorry. I pulled it too close to my keyboard and it unplugged itself. So what happens? Usually you would go to another country and you'd start to talk to their fucking politicians and you'd ask for money. The United States is at this point where we're so fucking broke and this and that. Well, they're not even going to our politicians anymore. The guy from China comes over a couple days ago, and who does he have dinner with? He has dinner with Apple, all these techs, Blackstone, BlackRock, all these tech guys. Because why? They're the ones that have the money. They're the ones that have power. They're the ones that have fucking control, because our government doesn't. These guys have control over our government. Think about that. Usually they come to meet with politicians, and they go straight to our fucking these CEOs. No, we need you guys. And then what happens? The very next day he meets with all of these people. They pull ads from Twitter. All of them. And then what happens? Today, what happens? So a day after all this stuff happens, today they announced China's troubled shadow bank warns of insolvency. China's got fucking a whole bunch of problems. So they need a whole bunch of money. So, of course, like I said, they go to the techs, not our politicians, which you normally would do. But what else happens? The next day, today, U.S. lawmakers asked the SEC to launch fraud investigations into Elon Musk. The very next day, we're going to pull ads. We're going to go ahead and fucking launch a fraud investigation. And here we go. So, like I said, this shit is getting crazy to the point where when I talked about a corporate republic, nobody knew what they were. It's when these corporations have more money than your government, basically control your government, and everything, the economy is not put first, the corporations are. And that's exactly what we're in. It's a fucking insanity that this is even allowed to do it. You're all slaves, whether you think you are or not. You're slaves with a little bit more freedom, and all they'll ever say is, well, if you work 3 to 7 fucking jobs and work and grind it out, or go get a college degree and get lucky as shit. No, all the people that make it that are super fucking rich, 90% of them are fucking criminals. Or they know how to scam the system, or they're in finance because they're scamming the fucking system. It's like, how do you become rich? Fuck every other degree in the world. Just go to finance, go to business, and then go into it. Just go into all the criminality. There you go. Go into banking. Or God forbid, go into the church. You guys see the church? Money is so bad. It's a sin. Don't like money. God hates money. God hates money. But yet we have $100 billion tax-free portfolio that's invested. How much do you have not invested? But I thought he hated money. Why do you need 100 fucking billion plus? Well, if we don't have 1,000 gold statues, but I'm not going to get into that. I mean, I know people are like, holy crap on the religion. But like I said, there's like, guys, come on, man. Wake up to a lot of this stuff. I mean, they just got done talking about aliens. For fuck's sake. But either way. But like I said, dude, now you have banks going after banks. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Alibaba. And you guys have been paying attention to SoftBank and how they're fucking them. They're just straight fucking them. And like they're doing all these contracts. They're attacking the shit out of them. And then right after this starts happening, the founder, Jack Ma, announces he's going to sell $870 million worth of shares. Holy fuck. Well, SoftBank's running over because SoftBank's like, dude, they're in trouble. SoftBank's scrambling to stay alive right now. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the contracts and stuff SoftBank's have been giving out, but SoftBank's like, if they have a couple things go wrong, they're going under. They're going to get fucked. If you have anything to do with SoftBank, get the hell out of them right now. But so in order for them to survive, they're over here, they're attacking Alibaba. This is what I started to say, guys. When you start to see the feds getting more and more pain, more and more insolvent, when you start seeing the banks start getting more insolvent, taking fucking these hits, these guys that are the ones who would margin call them, when you start to see them having the pressure, when you start to see retail and all these people kind of running out, most of retail's buying. Look at the OBV. I don't care what anyone thinks or says. People are buying the shit out of AMC. It's been oversold like fucking beyond ridiculous at this fucking point. They're doing everything they can at this point. Everything they can. And they're going to keep fucking bleeding the market and say, well, everything's bleeding. They're going to do whatever they fucking can. Most of the liquidity, the mass concentration of liquidity now with retail, none of us are, a lot of people aren't sitting there going fucking crazy. Most people day trade, make options. They're not sitting there going long on all these stocks anymore. A lot of people, if they're going long, they're going long on these fucking meme stocks. Now, I'm not saying not everybody. Obviously, people, they're still trading out there. But a lot of people are not sure. Like I said, they're mostly day trading. They're doing option trading, all sorts of shit. Most of the concentration now has been going into these for retail. So what are these guys going to do? Like I said, they're going to have to start going after each other. They're going to have to start going after liquidity everywhere else. They're going to start having to munch. Rich are going to have to eat the rich. because they're all so fucking close to insolvency. They're all so over leveraged. They're all credit's drying up. And that's what you guys don't get. When you're over leveraged and credit's drying up, now what? There's nowhere for me to go get more credit. It's hard to get more credit and I'm over leveraged. I have to eat somebody up. I gotta go fucking do something. I gotta go absorb somebody. I gotta go down talk the shit out of somebody else, some other company, and I need to go attack their stock and get my buddies. They gotta do something. Well, these guys have been fucking people over. SoftBanks have basically been selling some scam fucking stuff like FTX, like their FTT token coins. SoftBanks has been basically fucking people over with these type of coins. Well, on top of that, they're writing these new type of contracts. They're prepaid forward contracts. So if you guys look down at this, basically, if it reaches a certain price or goes down to a certain price, SoftBank wins. But if Alibaba goes up to a certain price, SoftBank there'll be no more. They'll literally own $34 billion. They're basically done. So basically, they're betting against each other. They're attacking the shit out of each other. And their life depends on it. Their entire life depends on it. So I don't know what you guys want to say, but when suddenly the founder of this attacked company does this, you got rich eating the rich. Sorry to take a pill quick. Fucking allergies are just crazy right now. So, like I said, there's so much shit going on behind the scenes, guys. There's so many. They cannot keep this up. The government can't keep this up. The feds can't keep this up. The borrowing these are loans. Everybody's going, we need to get the fuck out of loans, pay off everything onto these credit cards. They're not going to have money to pay back these loans. And this is the other thing that I'm telling you guys with the feds. When these guys that are borrowing from this program don't have the money to pay back the feds, who are already so fucked, now what? This isn't counting losses and shit that they're going to take on these loans that people aren't going to pay back. So guys, these guys are fucking... You cannot steal tens of trillions of dollars. You can't. You cannot build these mega yachts on mega yachts that should not exist, that are 16 times the size of the fucking Titanic, because some billionaire wants to feel cool. Like, this shit is fucking insanity. But like I said, they have to go after these cryptocurrency exchanges. They're trying to, if we can't get fucking CBDCs, we got to get in charge of a crypto. We got to get in front of this shit. We got to get our spot BTFs in. Because when these start to get in, they will control the price. When ETFs start to get in, it's what they want. I promise you. They will be able to control this shit. And that's exactly what crypto was meant to get away from. And that is why it's a fucking joke. Anything that was for retail, made by retail to get away from it, it's all fucked up until they can get a hold, regulate it, finance it, get it to where, well, now we're into it too, and all of our big players have their own exchange. Well, now we're going to crush out the competition. Now it'll be the biggest exchange, and now we'll let other people come up to a certain point, but they can't get as big as our fucking big bank exchange. Like I said, it's a fucking joke, dude. But if you haven't seen these January 6th videos and all this shit, like I said, these guys were talking about this being so fucking deadly. It was like the worst terrorist attack since fucking 9/11. And it was people walking, shaking fucking hands, dude. Looks scripted as fuck to me. But, like I said, if you guys want a couple financial plays, if you look at the market there, I'm not going to tell you which way to go, what you want to do. But you can look at SoftBank, Alibaba. I also showed you that stock that has fucking more FTFs or FTDs than the entire float. If you want to look at JGLO, just JP Morgan themselves owes the entire float and then some in FTDs. So, not financial advice. Check it out. Obviously, do DD. Don't just invest. But when I saw that, I'm like, okay. Like I said, guys, these motherfuckers are taking losses. On top of that, they're having commercial real estate problems. This one, they took a couple $100 million loss. Here's another one where they took another couple $100 million loss. They're going to have billions and billions and billions in these losses coming into commercial real estate. And there's nobody that is opening up new fucking businesses. So there's nobody coming to save them. They're not going to save these buildings. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Commercial real estate bubble will hit. And that's like I said, why the government needs to try their hardest to convert those skyscrapers now into homes. But like I said, who the hell is going to want to live in a skyscraper? Do you want to go live somewhere on the 50th floor, the 45th floor? Do you really want to go do that? They're going to convert 30 foot or 30 floor, 40 floor skyscrapers into fucking commercial real estate homes, apartments. Seems pretty crazy to me, but whatever. Like I said, and where the hell are they going to park? Like I said, who the hell wants to live in an apartment 40 stories up and then have to park somewhere? But, again, these guys are feeling more pain. Blackstone to close multi-strategy fund after assets drop nearly 90%. Get fucked, Blackstone, you pieces of shit. All of you hedge funds, all of you criminals, fuck off. I love it when I see this. This happened. They lost 90% in the last 4 years. So basically, the second we came and we got involved and we started fucking them up. On top of that, we all heard little Chandos closed his hedge fund. If you guys saw, he went from billions in assets down to 200 million. He is now opening a family office. So he closed his hedge fund to open a family office. But that's still like a disgrace in the financial sector. He can only manage so much money, so he can't get as big as he was. Gotta give me 1 second. Sorry about that. But yeah, so once again, like I said, they're feeling pain, guys. They're closing down hedge funds that have been around for a long ass time. You have banks insolvent all around the world. You got all, like I said, there's going to be a smash. There's going to be some blood in the market. Maybe it was a good thing. Like I said, the stock, I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and tell you TA, but everybody that woke up yesterday and was told, oh my God, we're going straight to 550. Well, doesn't look like we're going straight to 550. Everybody that is only staring, it's every stock. Look at GameStop. Even GameStop. You're almost at $12 right now. You're almost back down to $12. Every stock in the market is getting fucking smashed. And that's not a bad thing right away. When every stock that they're using for collateral and all this stuff is going down and down and down. Like I said, guys, this is what we need to have happen. We need all their collateral, their haircuts to start getting triggered, needing more per haircut. Boom, we're feeling good. Like I said, we need more pressure on these opponents. Everybody stares at the stock price, and that's all they worry about. You have an opponent. I don't know how many more times I have to say that. Stop. If people focused on their opponent, if you guys focused on the banks, the short sellers, your opponents, as much as you focused on the everyday price action, you're in a short squeeze play. If you think this play is a short squeeze play, who gives a fuck about daily price action? You don't care. If you're in a short squeeze play, do you think that every one of these guys go every day, like, did it go up 26 cents? Oh, that 26 cents is going to make a fucking squeeze. No, it's not. The pressure behind the scenes, the margin call, all of that goes out the window the second everybody stares at the stock price and say that's the only thing that matters. Well, Adam Aaron is against the company. So you're telling me every other stock in the entire market's dropped and dropped and dropped, including bank stocks. So every CEO is out to get their company. Every CEO is, like I said, it's happening every fucking where. People that are just crying about Adam Aaron, you literally, what's another stock you've looked at in the last couple months? Like I said, it's happening everywhere. Everyone is feeling fucking pain right now. Credit is drying up after basically being free for years. They've stolen trillions. Let the dominoes fall. Their main backers are getting more and more fucked by the minute. Look at these bars, and they're going to keep growing. The Fed's losses are going to keep growing. It's getting worse for them. not better. So what are you gonna do? What is the Fed gonna do next year when 8.6 trillion? You guys think about it this way. You're seeing the after effects right now. What is it gonna be when the fucking next year? I told you, I promise you next year, you will see $40 trillion on the debt ceiling. You will. We will hit 40 trillion. What's gonna happen when they can barely handle it now and your fucking interest goes up to 2.6 trillion? They are not going to be able to keep backing these guys. What's going to happen on top of that when they start defaulting on these loans? They're to the point of desperation where they're deleting bonds. They're deleting due bonds. What the hell is that? I've never seen that in my life. You just deleted it. Deleted it. You didn't cancel it, renew it. You just deleted it. What? We don't default on bonds because we'll just delete them from the system. This is insanity. This shows you how fucked up they are. They're doing something never heard of. They're deleting them. Like, this is crazy. But you can't, like you said, what are you going to do? Delete 7? You have $33 trillion worth to delete. What are you going to do? You can't delete it all. They have no plan. Their plan is to become fucking goddamn Japan. Yeah, okay. And what is Japan doing? Japan's on like the brink of like extinction right now financially. Their entire system's like hanging on by a string. I don't even know how they haven't collapsed yet. So we're gonna go the Japan route? Yeah, obviously it has good results. Like I said, they can't bail them out forever. And the MOAS type thing is the only thing that can re-stimulate your economy, get you back the capital gains that you're losing, get you back businesses to start maybe getting back that income that you need, because banks are becoming less and less needed and less of a necessity more by the day. Other people can give you more interest. Everything else is there's no reason to be in a bank anymore. People are waking up and they're going to keep leaving them. They don't need to be so, oh my God, these are so important in our financial stability. It all relies on 4 banks that are more powerful than our entire country. Okay. Yes, because Jamie Dimon and his pedophile ring need to have more fucking power. But like I said, they're going to start eating each other up, man. Everything's coming down. Wells Fargo actually just got charged with a $490 million Ponzi scheme. Like, how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions can these fuckers steal? Like, this alone should be they should be in prison. Like, you tell me a bank robber that stole $490 million. You can't find one. That's never happened. But they'll get 30 to life. These fuckers had a $490 million Ponzi scheme. JP Morgan Chase. More and more people are going to leave these. Like I said, if you guys are in an ISDA bank, get out of them. JP Morgan Chase accused of debanking and defaming a Florida business. They're being sued right now because they basically just went up to a Florida business and canceled out their account. Just canceled out their account. Well, earlier this month I showed you 200 more people did that as well. So they're just closing accounts at will, dude. Like I said, your shit's at risk being in a bank. It really is. Just get the fuck out of them. There's no reason to be in them and collect your 0.1%. Got my nose, man. I think I'm going to have to call it, guys. My medicine's not working, and I'm just going to get more and more stuffy. But like I said, they're closing down. They're fucking pressure's mounting on these pieces of shit. They're getting caught every single day doing more and more fucking disgusting pedophile shit. We're getting rid of more of these fucking losers. There's a new thing that I'm going to talk about. It's called Base 3 Endgame. And it's supposed to be the newest thing. It's supposed to come in 2025. It's supposed to hit the banking sector. It's supposed to be a ton more regulations, make them own a ton more deposits. It's supposed to stop shell companies, all sorts of new rules, requirements. We'll see if it comes in 2025. We'll see what happens before this. But I will cover this going over our next one. There's a lot of stuff. I'll go over the framework. We'll see if it even matters. But like I said, they want this to have a compliance date of July 1st, 2025. And it's supposed to be basically, I mean, like I said, the Dodd-Frank Act was kind of obviously we see now it's just a fucking joke. But this is supposed to be the biggest reform since the Dodd-Frank. So we'll see. But we'll go over this next time, guys. But like I said, my nose is just going to get worse and worse until I go take my stuff. So I'm going to get going. But thank you guys so much. Have a good day, guys.